Welcome, everyone. It is Wednesday. It is Andor Day.
Show.
All right. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 5, spoiler review
The Axe
of
Forget.
Andor. Right. The Axe Forgets. All right. So let's start off by saying that this was, I wouldn't say it was an action-packed episode.
It was
but
very slow paced, especially with how they ended episode 4, with us thinking we'd get like some sort of action episode.
Mhm.
And then we got this. It wasn't bad,
Mhm.
but I'm just saying
Mhm.
we were kind of expecting to get some action in the episode, which we didn't get.
Well, let me see if I have the names right. So the director is Susanna White. The writer is Dan Gilroy. So they are actually writing episodes 4, 5, and 6. So to me, this seems to be the middle, and it's a buildup or it's a tension to get us excited about the heist that's going to appear or that's going to take place in episode 6. So that's what I expect. But it is still a character-driven series. It is fascinating how much we're starting to learn more about these characters. And as we go along, because it's a 12 episode series, we're getting to see new characters as well. So there were several storylines going on in this episode, and
like
they were going back and forth
15 billion different stories.
it felt like they were going back and forth. So we're just going to touch on 3 of the storylines, right? The Cassian and the team. We'll talk about Mon Mothma and her family, and then we'll talk about Syril and his mom. All right.
The new sitcom.
Yes,
streaming now on Disney Plus.
Well, wait till we get to that. Okay. All right. So So let's start with Cassian on the planet Aldani, and the team. Let me just mention you wanted to. Okay.
What?
So the team, is Skeen, Senta, Vel, sorry, Nemec, and Taramin. All right, along with Cassian, Clem.
Yes.
They still don't trust Cassian. They don't trust Clem. So they're really trying to figure out, okay, who is he? What does he want? Why is he here? Why is he trying to help us? They don't know. But Skeen seems to be the one that is
taking on all that.
Yeah, he has the most suspicion about Cassian. So he's trying to do a little bit of digging. Like he's picking up his personal items, trying to see if he could find. He realizes that Cassian is holding like a corporate issued blaster, right? And what are you doing with this? And
and also, why are you searching this man's bags?
Well,
you have no business in them.
Absolutely, it's an invasion of privacy, but exactly. It's a good question.
You could tell Cassian was just waiting for the moment when nobody was looking to grab the blaster.
Yeah. And apparently, Skeen and Cassian has some kind of connection. I think what they were doing, when Skeen was showing the tattoos on his arm, there has something to do with maybe they were part of a youth detention facility, and Cassian at some point was in this facility.
Yeah, or Sipo or something.
Yeah, Skeen also
sounds a lot like Sapo.
Yeah. So they share that commonality that they've been through this youth center, or youth, not a center, but just a detention facility.
He said youth center.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
we don't know. We didn't see it.
Right, exactly. So apparently, they must have done something where they were taken away and put into this facility, so they have that connection. All right. But you can also tell now that the episode is taking place the day before the heist is about to begin.
Yeah, although I thought we'd actually get the heist this episode.
Yeah, and you can tell that the team is starting to get nervous. They're starting to yell at each other.
Tensions are high.
Nerves
are snapping.
Yeah, once again, Skeen is doing his investigation and finds a crystal, the kyber that Luthen gave Cassian as a down payment.
Of course, he wasn't as peaceful about it as he had been before.
No.
As he just grabbed Cassian, pulled the weapon, and then all of a sudden, just like shot.
We lost the light.
It off of him.
Yeah, right. So, not exactly sure. What happened there. Apologies for the light, but we're going to keep on going. Yeah. So what Cassian did was try to put their mind at ease and tell them, okay, I was
I'm in it
hired
for the money.
right. I was hired by someone. He couldn't say who it was.
Yep.
I
The
was
price
paid
is
for
right.
it. But look, you guys need me. He's very valuable. He talked about, they're having questions about the weight of this ship that they're going to use as the getaway, how to march as soldiers, where, Skeen, who is left-handed, was marching on the outside and he should have been on the inside. So, so there are some things that Cassian, some knowledge that he was leaving the team that was very valuable to the team. So he felt, well, I have nothing to lose. If they don't want me here, then I'll just leave.
Yeah.
But of course they do. And again,
they need him.
Yeah.
These people have absolutely no clue how to do this, and they are the most inexperienced bunch.
Exactly. It's all nerves.
These are some people who've been living in a forest for who knows how many years.
Yeah. So again, it's high stakes. They're very, very
and everybody's
nervous.
high strung.
Yeah. And the scene I like. What about that TIE fighter? Remember that TIE fighter?
Oh man, that was I was watching that with JBL headset.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
the sound of that TIE fighter is just spectacular. And it's just coming so close. I have no idea why.
I feel like they got spotted.
Yeah, I think
nobody flies that low normally.
Right, and I'm sure the pilot saw them, but I guess it was just an attempt to scare them because he was flying so low. But the sound was awesome. That was an amazing shot.
Yeah, I had to turn that volume down because I was just like, I don't want to go deaf at like 10 years old. Yeah. I got 90 years to live.
That was an awesome sound. I mean, there's nothing like the sound of a TIE fighter.
All right.
And you can tell those things are going very, very quickly. All right. So now the team, we know that they have someone on the inside helping them, right? Lieutenant Gorn, right? And he's setting up a plan to make sure things are in place. There was a scene where he was talking to some of his military personnel,
his Imperial posse,
and he is making sure he's telling them that tomorrow, meaning the day that the heist is supposed to take place, he wants these his people, his posse, to take some time off on that day. So in other words, we see the vault where the coins or the credits are located, right? The payroll. Those military personnel who was watching the payroll, Gorn is trying to make sure that he has a skeleton crew, right? Like he has a very limited number of military people that day.
Skeleton crew,
right? Yeah, there's a connection there. There to make sure that the less military people there, the easier it is for Cassian and the team to get in, get the credits, and get out. All right, yeah. So he's got that all set in place. So they're just talking about tomorrow, what's going to happen tomorrow. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting. So again, episode 5 is setting us up for episode 6. I can't wait to see how this gets pulled off.
Seems like they're doing it in 3-parters.
Yeah, for now, right? Because the writer and the director are the same. Yeah,
now we're getting Vel's arc with Cassian, and then we have Cassian's arc on planet name.
Aldani?
No, other planet for the first 2.
Ferrix.
Yeah, Ferrix. Those people.
Those people. Yeah. Yes. And then one important thing about the storyline with Skeen, at the end, they seem to, Cassian and Skeen come to some type of an agreement or a truce.
Quote unquote.
There was a quote, a couple of good quotes. Let me talk about those. One that was said by Skeen, which actually has to do with the title of the episode. The axe
forgets, but the tree remembers.
But the tree remembers. And what a great quote. And his point is that the axe is the empire, and they're going in, they're coming in, and they're taking over. They're cutting people, cutting down the forest, people and planets, and then afterwards they forget. They just throw some big feast and have like cartons of blue milk with their lunches, which I'm sure tastes like slop. They're not concerned about the tree. What is the tree going to do? So the tree is the people who are being impacted by the Empire. So this the tree at some point is going to fight back, fight this axe that's happening. All right.
So let's take a break for Q&A.
Yes. Who do we have?
Alex.
Alex, thank you very much for joining us.
Hope you're both having a nice day.
Yep, we are. We are. So same to you. Same to you.
I agree. It was a slow-paced episode. I wasn't a huge fan of the pacing, but I think it'll pay off in the long run, particularly since everything will be fleshed out.
Yep. We agree. We're saying the same thing. Okay.
Lewis Berry.
Thank you, Lewis. Thank you for joining us. Can't wait for the dinner scene. Yeah, we're going to talk about Mon Mothma in a few. So finishing up Cassian and the team. So Skeen and Cassian, they have this truce, and Skeen reveals this story about his brother. He had a brother that
Which
had
they
a farm.
had for a reason.
Yeah,
he had a farm. And
what a coincidence that the brother had a tree farm, right?
Yep.
The axe and the tree. So this
I didn't
farm,
pick up on that.
Yeah, this farm was
completely raided by the Empire.
Right,
They flooded his crops and everything.
Absolutely
They
destroyed
stole
it.
his stuff, and he perished at the hands of the Empire.
Yes, and he couldn't take it anymore. He was out of work and he was out of money, and he decided that there was nothing more that he can do. So his brother left Skeen, and Skeen is angry. He hates the Empire, is what he says. So he wants to get back at them.
Of course.
And how many stories have we heard over the years of people who have been impacted by the Empire?
Like at this point, it's just cliche.
Yeah, it's like it's inevitable. Like your life gets turned upside down because the Empire is so big and so huge and so oppressive. You're going to feel the impact. And that ties into another quote that I thought was very good that Vel mentioned to Cassian, because she was explaining Dorn's backstory, Lieutenant Gorn, explaining his backstory. Right. So Gorn apparently got into a relationship with someone, maybe a subordinate, and
and then lost his promotion.
Right. He got
the woman
demoted.
And his taste for the Empire.
Yes. So that's his reason why he
plummeted off of a 3-story building.
Yeah. So that's the reason why he wants to go after the Empire. And the quote that Vel said was, everyone
has their own rebellion.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly right. So that's what it is. All right. So that's the story. So we'll see what happens in episode 6. Let's move on to talk about Mon Mothma.
Oh, you forget Vel left for no reason.
Yeah, well, right. So it was Vel and Cinta. They got their weapons and they walked away. Not exactly sure where they were going.
Me neither. I don't think they knew either.
Well, I think maybe they did know, but they wanted to keep it a secret from the rest of the group. I think some of the members of the group knew what they were doing, what they were going, where they were going.
Clem obviously had no clue.
Yeah, Cassian had no idea because no one would tell him.
Yeah,
so they said, just focus on what you're doing. They know what they're doing. So we'll find out in the next episode. Mon Mothma and Perrin.
Yes.
Poor Mon Mothma. I mean, she is not getting any help or support. Not even from her own family. Like I feel like they're all any help. No, I mean I feel like they're all against her. Like her husband is, he's like just like somewhere else. Very unsupportive. He's really arrogant.
He's an absent father.
Well,
or an absent husband in this case.
Well, yeah, he's not. He's he doesn't seem to be in tune with her needs or what she's trying to do.
And he's preoccupied with himself.
Preoccupied with himself. I love that.
Narcissistic.
Yeah. And here comes daughter.
Here comes daughter Lita, which sounds too much like Leia.
Yeah,
and you realize both of their mothers are either in the Senate or related to somebody who's in the Senate. True. Do you see how suspicious that is?
Yeah, what a coincidence. Right,
they kind of look the same too.
We were talking about Leia and Lita, besides the names being the same.
All they did was throw a D in there.
Yeah, but I think they're actually about the same age as well, because if this is taking 5 years before A New Hope, that would put Leia at 14, right? Because she was 19 in A New Hope. And this little girl, Lita, the daughter seems to be about the same age. So it's just a coincidence that their names are the same and they're probably the same age. Who knows?
Why does Mon Mothma pronounce schedule? Why does everybody in this episode pronounce it schedule?
Well, everyone has an accent. Very, very regal. Lot
Schedule.
of British actors.
Schedule.
Yes, a schedule. That's how it's pronounced in England. The schedule. All right.
Yeah, all right.
Do we have any more?
Q&A break.
Yeah, let's. What do we got? Q&A.
Alex again.
Yes.
I feel for Mon Mothma. She's
Yeah.
definitely in a tough spot.
Yes, agreed. Yeah. I just don't understand why she's not getting the support she's looking for. But anyway, so the daughter comes to the table, and the daughter's like, you're all in this for yourself.
Like,
I don't need you to take me to school. I'll let daddy do it. You just go do whatever it is you do. And, just saying very hurtful things that, little kids,
just like
tend to do.
Cutting up Mon Mothma.
Yeah. And
it's taking the high ground right from under her. She went from, Anakin, I have the high ground, to, I have the high ground now, mother.
Yeah. I don't know where the attitude is coming from, but, So, Mothma left the table. There was another scene where, by the way, the shots of Coruscant is beautiful, right? And the scene where they're flying in the ship was just excellent. I
like
just
that
love the
scene.
visual
It was
effects.
so good.
Right. Alex has a question. How do you think the mission will go? Yeah. All right. I
don't know.
That's a good question.
I feel like there's gonna be at least one casualty because this is Star Wars and this is Andor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of who's going.
Yeah.
Who's going to join Skeen's brother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if everyone will all make it out. I have the feeling though. I was going to say that maybe I think the mission is going to fail. I don't think they'll be able to get the credits, but however, I think yes, they will because the rebellion needs this money. So I'm just taking a look at what happened last week's episode when Mon Mothma came into the antique shop and Luthen is there and they're trying to make this transaction, but Mon has a hard time.
An egg toss for me.
Right. Well, Mon has a very difficult time moving money, getting the money that they need.
Or rather, coin flip. It could go either way.
So
that's a better analogy.
Yeah. So getting the payroll is big time. And I think they will get it. I think there will be some casualties, unfortunately, Alex. Maybe one or two of the members we may not survive, but I don't know. It's going to be a big mission. I think they will get what they want, but there'll be some casualties along the way. But we'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So going back to Mothma, and they're having taken this flight, and their ride in Coruscant, and as I suspected, her husband has no clue as to what she's doing behind the scenes.
He is so uninvolved and just self-absorbed.
Right.
That he's just like, I have no clue what you're doing.
Right.
Because he's upset that some senator knows more about his wife's plans than he does. But maybe you should sit down and take the time to get to know your wife before you start critiquing other people.
Well, it seems to me he's already taken a side. I don't think he's interested in forming a rebellion.
No, he's not interested in whatever Mon Mothma cares.
No.
Again, I think there's a reason we didn't know she had a husband.
Right. He's just interested in just, living a large life, being rich, not caring about anybody else,
Next
like
up
the
on
Empire.
American
Look,
Greed.
He's making money. he's making money from the Empire. So why would he want to change that? He doesn't want that impact.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
he just seems imperial.
Right. So there's no reason for him to even consider being a part of a rebellion. So that's why she's keeping it a secret.
I'm just gonna be frank. I think Perris is a spy.
You think he's a spy?
Because he's just way too sus for him not to be. You think about it.
Yeah.
Like he's like so out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he just seems like he's like an imperial. Because he's not even interested. He's not trying to hear how Mon Mothma feels about forming a rebellion.
Well, from what I said last week, I think he still has maybe some type of political aspiration.
Agendas.
Yeah, he definitely has an agenda. I think he has a political aspirations. He probably wants to become a politician or a senator like his wife. So he's trying to
rise up the ranks.
Yeah,
not
network.
doing it in the most.
Yeah, Absolutely
safe way.
Network with some of the big political powers.
Yeah, network with the power brokers.
Right. And actually find out for himself, because he's not going to get it from Mothma. Maybe find out what it is that she's trying to hide. And she had a great line to finish this up. He asked her the question, well, why didn't you tell me about the foundation? And then she said, well, I didn't think you'd be interested in the foundation. And he says, well, why not? And then she says, because it's charitable.
Oh, yeah. Remember that?
You know what that means, Perrin? That means it's charitable,
means...
meaning that's giving to other people, which you have no clue what to do.
Perrin, right? let me
explain it to Perrin. He doesn't know
let me explain to you.
Is.
When the person decides that they're going to be generous, right? And they want to give money to somebody else's cause.
Yeah. Right.
That's what charity
is. Right? It's given to others who don't have.
When you give to
do you know anything about that,
Perrin?
Do you?
Perrin,
do you?
So. Did you ever learn about that in school?
Right.
In senator school?
Yeah, exactly. So he has no clue. This is exactly the reason why.
Yeah, LOL.
Yeah. So he's never gonna know. That's fine. All right. So let's move on. So let's talk about.
Yeah, that's probably the reason he's never gonna know.
Yeah, let's talk about Cyril and his mom.
Oh yes, the hit sitcom Cyril and his mom streaming now on Disney+.
I'm telling you, I'm wanting now it may not be like a laugh out loud comedy. It might be like a dark comedy, but I want it. I still want it, and I want it now.
Why would it be dark?
Because I just get the impression that Cyril is just not
losing his mind.
I think at some point he's going to snap at his mom, and it's not going to be good for her. So
no, American Greed episode.
Look, he probably doesn't have a lot of money, which is why he came back home to live with his mom. But he's a grown man; he could be living on his own.
Yes, and yet his mother is babying him and pouring his cereal and milk.
Oh my goodness! I mean, mom is in control. She is still pulling the strings on this man.
Yeah,
and telling him, maybe corporate security was not where you need to be in the first place. That was not your wheelhouse. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think you need to consult
somebody else. Let's consult somebody who hardly knows you.
Yeah, let's get Uncle Harlow to talk to you. It was like,
who is this
Uncle
man?
Harlow?
Who is Uncle Harlow?
Yeah,
we didn't even see him on screen.
Yeah, no, we don't know. I guess
just saw
I hope
before,
he shows up in episode 6. Yeah,
and Cyril is just like, please, stop.
Cyril,
for the sake of my sanity, stop.
Cyril just wants her to stop talking.
Yeah, Cyril just wants his mother to leave him alone for once.
Just leave the man be, and then
let him be.
And you see the scene where he's in his room and he's got the hologram of Andor,
of Cassian's face.
And
he's just like, where did I go wrong?
Yeah, and he's looking at Andor, and I know he blames Andor for where he is. I'm here,
of course he does,
because of you. I'm living with this woman, my mother.
I'm living with my mother, and she's just on my last nerve because of you.
I'm coming after you, Cassian. So that's what it feels like to me. So again, it's going to be fascinating because
it will be. I feel like we got to get something good. We
talked about it. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. We talked about how at some point, Cyril and Dedra are going to meet. I still don't know how this is going to work out because Dedra is.
Well, Cyril's going to go run for some blue milk and bump into Dedra.
Dedra is here. Cyril is here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how the two shall meet, but we'll find out.
Possibly in the grocery store.
I don't know. Very interesting, but we'll find out. But I don't know where he's going. But he's going to need to get out from under his mom, and she's going to drive him nuts. That's all I can say. All right.
Alex is going to go nutso. All right, Q&A.
Yes, what do you have for Q&A?
Yeah, Alex. Cyril's going to go nuts.
Yes, there's some great lines throughout the show. Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah, wonderful. Yeah,
people were just like cutting up.
Yeah.
That axe was just all over this episode.
Yeah. And you know what? Yes, what I'm doing, because this is so character driven, I am paying much more attention now to the writing.
Like you weren't paying attention before.
Well, because sometimes I'm looking for something else in a series. Like I'm looking for more action.
Are we all?
Yeah, but for this in particular, we're not going to get the action that it's not going to be racing and blasters
Yeah, but
and
what I heard,
war.
when I heard Andor was going to be like a spy thriller,
Yeah.
I kind of expected a lot more action per episode, but the action to dialogue ratio is way off.
Yeah, but I think they're building up to something. So that's
Something
why
big's going to happen. I feel like there's going to be some big event that's going to change the show and spin it the other way.
So the action will be there. When it's not, when there's dialogue, there's a reason, because there's something that you're learning from the characters through the dialogue. And that's when I stopped to listen. Ooh, that's very interesting that person would say that. Oh, wow, let me write this down. So, yes, you're right, Alex. I mean, there's some great quotes, and I'm sure every week we would get one. We can talk about the best quote of the episode. We can do that.
You want to have a contest every time, like The Price is Right?
How would it work?
I don't know. Every time we take 3 quotes for the show and pick the best one.
Pick the best quote. All right.
And then we do like a closed voting. And then since it has to be odd, Bob, you can chip in.
Well, yeah,
cast your vote.
That's a good point. We can probably
vote on the best contestant.
Exactly. We can ask people, or we can just ask.
We can ask the comments as well.
People, you're right, to comment. What was your best quote?
Get their votes, and then I'll tally them up and tell you the winner.
Exactly. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we do have a community board, right? So that would be a great way.
That would be the best place to put it.
Yeah.
And then we host a little segment on the show after the community board.
Yeah, so we'll gather all the quotes and then we'll read them, and we'll say, okay, well, these are our favorite quotes, something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. Can I mention one more thing before we close? I remember when you interviewed with Denise and Kyle, and you talked about how important location is to the story.
I remember that.
Right. Okay. So by the way, the planet Aldhani, so the location shooting was traveling to the Cucha Dam in Scottish Highlands.
The question mark?
Well, if I pronounced it right, tell me if there's anyone in the chat who's ever heard of the Cucha Dam in Scottish Highlands. The huge dam and the surrounding mountains give filmmakers the look they were aspiring to capture for one of the environments on the planet of Aldhani. Right. So this is Luke Hull is the production designer. He's an Emmy-winning production designer. So he wrote, "We were intrigued with the idea that we could build a planet around the Scottish Highlands because so many of the Star Wars planets are desert or ice. So it was interesting to find a tangible landscape that could form a different version of a planet." He also adds about the dam. If you look at the dam, which I didn't catch this, I'll have to go back and look at it. He says if you look at the dam, it looks like Darth Vader's mask.
That's probably why they picked it.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, so the notion of everything that we're trying to do with the series is to suggest that the Empire was a bit of a blight on any landscape, so it was perfect. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I did not see you.
National Geographic.
Okay, is there a documentary? Okay, I'm being
Let's
told.
Watch it.
I'm being told that there is a documentary regarding the location.
Breaking news: our sources just told us.
Okay, I did not know this. So there is a documentary.
Let's watch it and review it.
Well, I don't know if we need to review it, but I definitely want to
and review it.
Okay, well, there we go. All right. So apparently there's a documentary about the location shooting at Andor. So we'll look into that. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, we will look out for that. Yeah. So that's it. So, all right. That is episode 5. We're looking forward to episode 6. Let us know. Do you have what are you looking for besides
before we log off?
Yeah, log off.
Yeah,
okay.
Log off. This
all right.
is a Skype meeting now.
I gotcha. Besides the heist, is there anything else you're expecting to see in the next episode? Let us know. If you can let us know now, or you can let us know in the comment board what you think, or you can comment on our Twitter page, anywhere you are watching or listening to us. Speaking of comments, please make sure to leave a review if you like this episode.
Got another comment from Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let me finish this.
You finish your spiel.
Exactly. So absolutely, if you're listening to any of the streaming platforms, especially Apple Podcasts, I mentioned last week that a majority of our listeners are listening through Apple Podcasts. Please leave a review. It is very important for us. It helps us with our numbers. It helps us to get more recognized or get more people to listen to the podcast. So please leave a review. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and like this video.
And now, Q&A. All right. Yep. There's a documentary, I think. I remember seeing a short clip from Nat Geo that talked a bit about the setting of the show.
How about that?
And a comment from Ken Bishop.
Okay.
Real quick.
All right.
But before we get to that.
Well, thanks, Alex, for that. Yeah, I did not. Yes, you know, I do remember seeing a tweet about it, and I forgot about it, but yeah there is. Yeah. Ken Bishop, yes. How are you?
Hi, guys. I can't wait to see some of my favorite characters like Saw. Me too. We're all in the same boat here.
You know, it's a good point you brought up Saw, Ken. I'm thinking, so we're not seeing Saw immediately, right?
No, which is kind of nice.
Right. But we're going to be seeing maybe small cells along the way. So in other words, right. So this is Cassian's first stop, right? With this group of rebels, right?
Yep.
When that plan, if the plan works or if it fails, they're going to move on to the next assignment, right? And then the next assignment may involve Saw Gerrera.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for now, that's it for this episode.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I just want to remind you, tomorrow we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back with She-Hulk.
Episode
hopefully
number
Daredevil.
8.
I've been seeing some leaked clips, and now I'm very upset.
The penultimate episode. Well, we don't want to get other people upset about it, Keith. Again, it may not. Look, it may not even be true. It might be, a fan-made video that you saw. So you may not have seen
2 fan-made videos done.
You never know. You never know. But anyway, so we'll be back tomorrow. She-Hulk episode number 8. Can't wait to see you then. That is it, Keith.
Yep, we got one more comment before we log off.
Okay.
Ken, again, I'm doing well, and I love your thoughts on this great new Star Wars show. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
We try to keep it pure.
Yes, we do. Yeah, and fun.
Keep it 100 too.
Keep it at 100. We keep it fun. Ken, thank you very much for listening. We hope you come back, Ken. You'll come back tomorrow if you're available tomorrow, or come back next week.
Subscribe,
Yeah. So thank you
help
for
us get to 1,000. Then I get a Rex helmet.
Okay, all right. You're telling too much. You got to keep secrets. Well,
what's a secret?
Well, try to be like Mom Mothma. Don't tell everything to parents.
Don't play all your cards on the table.
Right. There you go. All right. So thank you again, everyone, and we will see you again tomorrow. But until next time, take care, and we will see you again.
Just wait for you to say that.
Excuse me.